Romford. We are still inside you, and it's great to be here. And I'm joined right now by producer Joe Sargeant of the movie We Care short movie. Fantastic short movie, by the way. Easily one of my favourites of the festival. Probably shouldn't say that.
You can say that. That's absolutely fine.
But I did my top 5 of movies you can't miss at the festival, and that was in there. It was absolutely in there. So first of all, a little bit about yourself. Let's jump back a little bit. How did you get into this industry, this filmmaking industry, and why?
Well, I've actually been in the industry since I was about 11. I started off, obviously started in Amdram when I was little, and then quickly went into being a child actor and just doing little bits here and there until I was about, I think the last TV job I did from that part of my life would have been about the age of 18. And then I had a little bit of a break because I'm neurodivergent, and I found the industry incredibly overwhelming. Like, just as I got older, I found it harder and harder, and it found it very hard to ask for the support I needed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially back then when less was known about it and less was understood. And then I quickly made my way back through the world of theatre. So theatre was much more, it's much calmer in that way. I could
calmer?
Well, it's different, isn't it? It's a different
discipline, definitely. I can't imagine it being calmer.
From a sensory perspective, because it's a slower turnaround, isn't it? Obviously, TV and film is very quick.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, I then went into the theatre world and discovered that I had a bit of a skill for doing everything. I'm not one person who just can do one role. ADHD being the prominent thing. So I started doing writing, I started producing, started doing set design, acting. So I was literally just doing all the roles, and ended up at University of Manchester to study drama, which reinforced that I like doing all the stuff. And then I realised I hadn't had that much actor input, so I was looking for masters at drama schools, and ended up studying on the first ever MA Theatre Lab at RADA. Claire Louise, who is the director of We Care, and my other half of Hot Coals Productions, which is our production company. That gave me the actor input that I needed, the training and the understanding of performance and stuff, and also writing skills, because the MA is specifically catered to make work. So we ended up making things together, and we did that for 8 years. And then tell
me a little bit about Hot Coals Productions, what it is, what the manifesto is, and what you guys are doing.
So we are an award-winning production company, making work in theatre, film, and TV.
Many awards, by the way. Many awards.
Multi-award winning. Yes. The main thing that we aim for, what our main influences started off with sort of Chaplin-esque storytelling, but what we make now is film and TV that's both accessible and inclusive, and getting untold stories out there. So Claire, the director of We Care, is a deaf director, writer, and actor, and as I said before, I'm neurodivergent, so we're trying to sort of create a platform and create work which is mainstream, which is telling the stories of deaf, disabled, and neurodivergent creatives. And not all the stories necessarily be about being disabled, but they will be inclusive and accessible, leveling the playing field for deaf and hearing audiences. And we're working things like creative subtitling and being really
it's and it's important we do that, and you guys are out there doing that, and then hopefully it just becomes, as you said before, like it wasn't a conversation, it just becomes more and we can just deal with it that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about We Care, because I genuinely loved the short. I thought it was an excellent short. How did this project come to you?
So We Care is part of the collection of short films that we commissioned during lockdown. We saw Alan Bennett's Talking Heads, and they're brilliant. Obviously, they are brilliant writing, almost everything. But they were revamped during lockdown, and we watched them, loved them, but also felt they were missing a big chunk of society. They were from one perspective, and we felt that we wanted to make our own version. So we, with Arts Council, we went through a script development with 12 deaf, disabled, neurodivergent writers. With they had a director each and a dramaturg each to work through the script and build a script that was one of those dark, twisty, funny, but dark.
Poignant.
Exactly, poignant stories. And so all the writers developed a script, and we chose 7 to make into films. But we're doing it as we raise the funding, one at a time. In this particular case, there were 2, but We Care was one of them.
Steph Lacey.
Steph Lacey.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I just, you fall along with her instantly, and she takes you on a journey. Well, I don't want to get too dark or deep or anything like that, but where did this story come from with Steph? Is this an actual personal thing that's happened to her, or is it just something that she was able to write about?
I mean, she wrote the story for Talking Bodies for us. And
I like that, by the way, Talking Bodies. I like that. I saw that on your website. I was like, that's good.
And the mentoring scheme that ran alongside it was called Backstage Bodies, which I was very proud of. But she wrote the story for us. I think it comes from a place of truth in that, the community and learning stories and stuff. I can't speak for her exactly, what inspired it, but it definitely comes from a place of truth in that these things happen, and as a community we all talk to each other and share stories between us and everything. So it's and you can just see the truth. The care system is broken. There's some amazing carers out there, and there's some amazing people doing one fantastic work, but there's always dark characters within every corner of the
unfortunately. And in terms of filming and being on set, and she's very bubbly at the start, obviously, and she's talking away to us, and slowly the demeanor starts to break down because of things that happen. We won't say too much because we want people to watch it.
Yeah.
But slowly starts to break down. What was that like watching on set, like behind the camera?
The close set. So we were very, very careful with that because we did actually have our crew 99% deaf, disabled, and neurodivergent, and I'm 100% allyship. So those who were not deaf, disabled themselves were also allies. So it was an amazingly supportive set.
Yeah.
Such an experience. We had shorter shooting days, so I gave everyone a max of 10 hours. So I was not going over 10 hours. And I think we did 8.5, 9 hours most days. We managed, and I think that was because everyone had an understanding of everyone's access needs.
Yeah.
Everyone was very careful with each other, looked after each other. It was beautiful. And we had an access coordinator who made sure that everyone had what they needed to do their best work. But when it came to the really, really difficult scenes, it was a closed set with just the director, the OPs, and the auditors, and everyone was just very respectful of the material that was being shot.
Do you know it sort of like, I suppose you can't really talk for her because she was the actress, but do you know anything about how she got into that sort of space? Anything she had to do to get there? Because it gets quite dark.
I mean, I can't speak for her process, but I think Steph is so unbelievably talented, and she wrote it, which really helps. It's very personal, like those words have come from her. She's created that character, and she's had a lot of time to sit with that character. But Claire 2 worked with her quite a lot to help bring out that performance. And I think on the difficult scenes, we spent the most time giving her the time and space that she needed. And she really went there.
Oh, she's perfect. She's perfect. She kind of like she does get you to a point where you just you just feel everything she's feeling at that moment, and it just makes you think about everything else that's kind of potentially going on in the world. We know it is. But no, I loved her. And, you said there that she was the writer of the piece as well. Was there ever the idea of bringing someone else in to do the role, or was it all just get her? No, she's perfect. It would be a waste not to have her as she's such a brilliant. I mean, she's an extraordinary writer. Yeah. But as you said, an amazing performer as well. So it felt like if she'd wanted us to cast someone else, we absolutely would have gone on the hunt. But I don't think we would have found someone who could do the justice that she does. And what other Talking Body stories are we getting? What kind of subjects are we going to be tackling going
So
forward?
we've got one other that's out there at the moment,
Excellent.
doing the rounds, called Indefinitely, which is a very hard-hitting look at the transition between the disability living allowance and the PIP,
Right.
independence, the change period between that, because a lot of people don't know about the very dark side of that. And it's a brilliant film which was written by a brilliant writer called Carl Knights and performed by Jack Hunter, who is another extraordinary actor. And yeah, that one's doing the rounds at the moment.
Excellent.
It's dark, it's funny, it's mostly dark.
we like dark, we like funny.
And and the difficult, I don't think people realise how many people have died as a result of just that transition in the payment systems. The governments have just turned a blind eye to that. And then there's a hilarious one called Vulnerable, which is written by Joe Coffey.
Right.
And it's about a disabled woman's experience of lockdown when she's being told she's vulnerable, but she's like, I don't feel vulnerable. And how she develops a drinking problem during lockdown. Right. That one is very funny. It is dark, but it's very funny as well.
I think we can all relate to that as well, because I think I developed a bit of one. So
yeah, it's brilliant. She's a stand-up comedian as well, so she's just got
brilliant
timing. But that one's not been made yet. We're looking to get that one made at the moment. That's the next one on the list, and we've got there's 7 of them, so I could go through all the synopsis. But they are brilliant and great writing.
So we care is out on the festival. You've got the other one you said. Sorry, I've forgotten the name already. Definitely. So that's doing the rounds as well. When people are seeing it, when audiences are seeing it, obviously it's winning awards, doing really well, and everybody loves it. Yeah. But what's the nicest or the best thing that you've heard someone say about this movie?
Oh, I think we did a private screening. The only time we'd seen them prior to today was a private screening that we had, and we just had someone come up to us and say these need to be seen.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's what we want. They do need to be seen because they really do hit some subject matters that the world don't know about. And I think for me, when someone just walked up to me and just said these need to be seen, and the intensity of her face,
they got it.
Like, I agree.
They got exactly what you were trying to do, and it's fantastic.
Exactly.
What do you hope people take away when they walk away from these films?
Just to realise that we're just people. Like I think that the industry has one thing that's failed in the past when it comes to film and TV is that the stereotypical depiction of deaf and disabled and neurodivergent people is quite damaging. So there's a brilliant line in We Care where she's saying about a woman coming up to her and saying that I'll pray for you, and she's like, I'm fine, lady. I got to sit down all day. I'm not doing it justice at all. But the fact that that happens, like I know that I've got friends who are in wheelchairs who will be in the supermarket, and they can stand up to get something off a shelf, but they can't walk long distances. So they're in a wheelchair. And people forget that disability has all sorts of different.
There's many levels.
It's different for every single person. Yeah. And I think the reason that people make these assumptions is because all they ever see is what's on TV, and if they haven't got anyone in their life with a disability. And also the people will just walk up to them and ask them what's wrong. And I think, again, film and TV is constantly explaining why deaf and disabled characters are disabled, and it's like that creates a certain level of entitlement within society to that information.
Ignorance as well.
And ignorance, exactly. So I think what I would love is that people just start to realise the human behind everything and not make assumptions.
Well, I love what you're doing. I love everything you're doing with these, and I look forward to seeing more of them. You speak really greatly on the subject, and obviously it's something that's very close to home. If you could put out a dream project, what would you like to tackle?
Oh, I mean, we had a film in the festival a couple of years ago called My Darling Christopher, and we're currently looking to get which was
did we show that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we did.
And that was it's a true story based on a young boy who loses his hearing during the outbreak of World War II.
Yes. Yeah.
And I want to make that into a feature because Clive is a real person.
Yeah.
And I adore him. He's become like a surrogate grandfather. And his story is amazing, and I would love to get that made. But we've got lots of projects on at the moment across film and TV, and all of them are my babies, and I want to get them off the ground.
We're gonna wrap up in a quick second, but just promote some of them and just let people know what you've got coming and promote yourself.
Well, obviously, we're looking at the moment to finish making the anthology of the short Talking Bodies, and A New Way of Life, which is the feature length with my dad and Christopher. And we're currently writing a comedy drama with 5 acts ITV Studios, because Claire and I co-write together as well. And we're working with Yellowbird UK, which is a big production company, to create a death-led crime thriller for TV as well. So just looking for a home for that at the moment. And
so where can people find these projects? Online or anything like that?
So Indefinitely and We Care is available with Home Manchester, who are funders.
Right.
For a short time, you can download it online at Home Manchester's website, and just follow us on our website really, and just see where the other projects go, because at the moment it's waiting for more to take off.
It's indie filmmaking.
Exactly.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for jumping on and doing this. I know you've already had your Q&A, so maybe I'll talk out, although it seems like you probably talk for hours. Thank you for submitting the movie to us and letting us show it. And again, it was one that really, really hit home with me. And I got a kick. Like, I really enjoyed watching it, and I like what you're doing with the Talking Bodies. And I want to see more.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
Give us some more.
Yeah, we will.
And cast Steph in all of them.
You can see Steph on TV at the moment as well. So she's
all right.
She was in Stay Close, which is
all right.
show, and she's in something now, but I can't remember what it is. Sorry, Steph. I should have checked before I came on, but she's in something at the moment as well, another show.
Awesome. Well, we'll put all links and everything in the bios and everything. But again, thanks for submitting, and thanks for letting us show it, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's great.
Left tit, lift, wash, done. On to the right. Lift, wash. Personal care doesn't really cover it, does it? Never had a man before. Was a carer, I mean, obviously. Well, not obviously, you don't know, do you? Still a bit weird in washing my tits, mind. But you get used to it. I think. They said they didn't have anyone else that could come out to me.